guys. I'm Sally Martin, my handsome husband, Lawrence Martin. You know us from Baggage Battles, Storage Wars, and Round the Bend TV. And we're here with our new friends, Craig and Nikki.
Hi, I'm Craig Hughes, and you'll probably know me from the television series Salvage Hunters and Salvage Hunters and Restorers. And we're going to make a really amazing programme for you. Along with my wife Nikki, our good friends Sally and Lawrence in America, we're going to educate you and also entertain you, so be prepared.
Hey guys, look what I got here. Look, it's a lamp. It's a very ornate, fantastic, expensive lamp, and it's from a train carriage, right? And you can see how
it's a kerosene lamp.
How it was fixed to the wall here with these little brackets here. These are, looking at these brackets, they're actually called design of Eastlake, which would be on the East Coast, more like New York around that way. So the Eastlake, they designed all kinds of furniture and stuff, but it had basically this kind of design, if you can see that on there, right?
Yeah. That's
This is made of solid brass.
Hold on. What'd you say?
I was just saying, is it made of brass? That bracket I could see.
Brass. It's made of brass, yeah, mate.
Not brass.
Brass. It's actually made of brass, you know. But I'm supposed to be the US guy here. I was like to talk like brass, you know.
You have to say brass.
Any old iron, right? You know, like that. But anyway, so there you go. That's the brackets. I hold it on the wall like that.
And where would it have been?
It would have been in a carriage, like a Pullman carriage, you know, like the expensive carriage, the first class, right? So
railroad.
Yeah, right, and in a railroad carriage, honey. Yes. So look, it goes without saying. So you got a little levers here. You can lift that, and the tops will come off.
Turn it. So that I think is the lever he's talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah, it moves it up.
So I can take it apart. And we can look inside. But first of all, I want to show the underside. Right? It's made by this company, Lowenholtz, in Milwaukee. I'm probably not saying that quite right. Leftenholtz.
Yeah,
Milwaukee
is in Wisconsin.
See?
Which is in the United States.
Yeah, is it a big railroad place, that though?
What was that?
Is Wisconsin a big railroad place?
I don't know. We should find out.
This guy here was actually he came over from Germany in the late 1800s and started his little business up. But he was actually, I think he made locks, because I know he made railroad locks. Okay. So this is something that he span off later. I can't find much about this. I only just got it, so I can't tell you too much about it. But I did try to play it, and it didn't work too good.
This is the part I love. Look at that glass, how it's just round.
You can show my fortune if you want, honey.
Yeah, good. Oh, I can actually see us in it.
Yeah, look.
Good luck, honey.
Picture. Look at that. Look. Oh,
actually, we should take a picture.
It looks like one of those mirrors where you got, change shape.
That glass is done well.
Oh, what about this way then? Look at that. That's pretty cool.
We're wide.
Now we look like fish in a fishbowl. Look, that's you. I'm Nemo. No, I can see that. Anyway, so that's our item. And
where'd you get it?
Where did I get it from? Well, I got it. Somebody called me with a bunch of stuff for sale, and I went and got this with other items. So I didn't really want it, but I'm glad I did now, because it's quite intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah,
intriguing.
Was that a local house?
I was in Marina del Rey, in California, and I don't know where they got it from, but whilst you're fiddling around over your side, I'm going to take it apart, maybe show you some of the insides.
Don't you want to pay attention? Maybe you can show the insides next time.
I mean, you've done well. That glass has done well to survive, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. I did see another one out there, but didn't have any glass. So yes, yeah, it is. Like, you're like often an ego slayer.
Don't let me do that.
You did see Benny Hill on that show. Benny Hill did that. And he dropped it. Of course he would, wouldn't he?
If I did that, he'd be all over my.
Oh, look at that
stuff.
That reminds you of.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine though, being in a railway carriage with that in the same room as you? The soot and smoke that must come off that.
Oh, the smoke. Yeah.
You know what? I'll get some kerosene in here, and if it's got a wick, I'll light it up. Maybe I can get a wick for it, and we can
Yeah.
have a working demonstration.
But
What-
you know,
what-
speaking of carriages, we actually took the night train from Lisbon to Madrid,
Night train.
and it was a little, you know, a pink. Everything was really like 1950s pink. And in the middle of the night, because it was overnight, so in the middle of the night, we're both sleeping. It was double bunks, right? I'm on the bottom, he's on the top,
Always.
and in the and and in the middle of the night, it was 1 a.m.
Oh, it was a bit louder than that. It's like look, it's like the middle of the war. It's like Gestapo was coming in there and said, "Papers, papers, papers." And obviously, it's this young kid giving us like, give us hell. But then the older guy came behind me and goes, "American, okay."
It was the weirdest thing. I thought I was in a Humphrey Bogart movie.
Yeah.
what were you doing
It
crossing
was
the
like,
border?
I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna take us out and lock us up, and I think it must have just been at the border.
It was right on the
between
border. Yeah.
Portugal and Spain.
Yeah.
It was quite the event. We could have had that in there.
No.
I noticed how they excused it by saying you're American.
Yeah. 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 That's it.
Yeah. Oh, they're American. Never mind.
Yeah. It's okay. They're all right.
I don't know that he said we're all right, but he went, never mind for sure.
Yeah. So you. All right.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's my item for this show.
Brilliant.
Charge!
Right, this is can you see? So if I just move back a bit, you'll be able to see it better.
Oh, I see the barometer, and it's fair today. It's fair.
Yeah, it's
Fair, it's fair dinkum,
it's
matey.
Let him speak.
fair. And this, if I get me face in as well, if I can. No, right. So this thing I've had knocking around at work for years, and probably 3 hours ago, it was in an absolute state. So in the last 3 hours, I've restored it.
You restored it already?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to. I couldn't come on here with it in the way it was.
Bit of elbow polish, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know much about these at all. I can tell you how a barometer works. This one's called an aneroid barometer. There's a couple of different types. The other one's a mercury one that sits in a bath of mercury, and then with the air pressure that changes as mercury goes up and down the tube. These ones are not. These have a metal diaphragm inside that compresses with the atmosphere or with the barometric pressure. That's where barometer comes from. This is, I don't know the age of this. We can find that out. It's got a glass face on it, and the thermometer's glass as well, the whites of its glass. It's oak, the wooden bit's oak. And usually a telltale sign with oak is if you look at the carvings on oak, it tends to be quite basic. Because oak's got heavy grain on it, you can't do fine carving on. It's difficult to do fine carving on it. So a lot of oak items tend to have quite basic carvings on them. So
It's got brass.
this
It's kind
bit
of
there,
arts
yeah,
and craftsy, isn't it?
it is, yeah. I mean, the whole this sort of this bit here and the
Right,
design
right.
of it's arts and crafty looking.
Yeah, there's little
What's the
cutouts.
It's got
look like?
It's got that Macintosh look to it.
It's heart of oak, are we, man?
Yeah.
Jolly tars, are we, man?
So
I
this
didn't know
bit
what he was
now,
saying.
as Nicky's just pointed out, this bit here, if you can see inside the glass, the rim is shining. A lot of people would have thought that's chrome. They didn't do chroming back then. That'd be nickel plate. So you've got a brass ring around there with nickel plated. But over the years, that's been hanging on somebody's wall. They've been polishing it, and all the
Oh,
nickel,
yeah.
the
It's worn
nickel
through the
plates.
plate, eh?
Yeah, it's worn through it. Yeah. So obviously the bit behind the glass where it's not been polished is
Right.
still got the nickel plate on it. So that's what I've got.
What's the worst weather on there you can get?
We've either got stormy
Oh.
or
Stormy weather.
dry.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
and what are you today? You're just fair today. They're
Which-
fair to middling.
No, I'm always fair anyway. So that's what we've got.
That's very nice. Yeah. So as a second hand too. Look at that.
It does. That's so. I think what you do with those is
You set it right.
You set it to that, and
Yeah.
then when it changes, when the weather changes, you can see what it was on the previous day.
What it was or where? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
So-
did you say that one is Mercury or?
This
Or is
one's
it,
not. No. This
So
this
you've
one's
got-
not Mercury.
What's the
inside
temperature then?
there, it'll be a metal, like a disc or a can type thing in there, and as the atmospheric pressure changes, it squeezes and lets it go, which moves the dial.
What's the temperature now then?
The temperature in here is 70 degrees, or
70?
or 22 in centigrade.
It
It's
has
the same
centigrade too.
temperature.
Oh, okay.
it's the same
Yeah, it's got
temperature here.
Centigrade and Fahrenheit.
All right, there you go. That's really good. So, what do they call? That's just alcohol in there, then, right? That
Yeah,
red
that's
stuff.
alcohol in that one.
Don't drink it then.
So I have a question. I have a question that I've already forgotten. How do you know that it's not mercury? What tells you it's not mercury?
That's
There's a
red.
colour.
If you look at it,
Because
It's
of the red?
Yeah.
it's red. If it's mercury, it'd be silver.
I'll
Yeah.
be darned. Okay,
And
that's cool.
You got a big plus there because it's illegal to sell mercury, so you wouldn't be able to sell that if it had mercury in it.
Yeah, I mean mercury is
Poison.
highly poisonous. Yeah, I mean when we were at school,
Go ahead.
we had mercury thermometers. We used to smash them on the floor and all sorts. You know, nowadays you're not allowed near the stuff.
Well, back
Sorry, what were you
in
saying, Sol?
King George's time, King George III or something like that, when they got syphilis, then mercury was a cure for syphilis, and a lot of people did that and died because they took the mercury and the syphilis didn't get them. But it did cure them because it killed them.
Yeah, one of the cures for that, it wasn't even, you didn't even ingest it. They injected it down the end of your manhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah. I don't think I'd go for that one. So that's
These-
beautiful, solid oak, and I'd
these-
probably
these-
round about
Yeah,
1920s, eh?
I would have thought so. I mean, the generic name for these is a banjo barometer
Yeah, yeah.
for obvious
What's
reasons.
the back of the? What's the back look like?
Very plain.
Just flat, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nice piece of oak.
it
and
is.
with a little hook up at the top. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like
Yeah.
quarter sawn oak, right?
Yeah, that's for setting it. Nicky's just asking what this is for. Can you see that little
What is
screw on
that?
the back?
Yeah.
Winder?
What you do with that, and it is difficult to do. Round the sides here, is small numbers, and
Yeah.
that's your accurate barometric pressure. And what you do
okay.
is you get the accurate reading on a certain day, and then once you know the exact barometric pressure on that day, you set this with that screw on the back. But that's how you would do it. But nobody bothers. You just look at that and go, yeah, it's fair.
That's good enough.
I always
Yeah.
wondered why I had a screw on my back. Now I know. That's good.
Right, we don't. Right, so that's my item, and we'll try and do some
Very
research.
good, matey. Yay. All right, guys. Well, I have an extraordinary find of the week. It's here. This ear cup ear trophy. Right. There's actually, watch this. There's two. Look at that.
Oh,
Magic.
Two for the price of
we'll do
one.
this one first. So, this was just sitting around on a table in the flea market, and I was kind of drawn to it. I like to buy these trophies because there's a lot of writing on here, as you can see. And I thought, well, blimey, that looks pretty. It's got to be pretty prominent kind of an award for somebody way back in the 1933. Yeah, okay, and it's my lucky number 33, so I had to get it right. So there's this one and there's this one. This one ties into it. So I said to the guy, what do you want then? He goes, oh, give me $30. $30. I go, no, I can't do that. Yeah, 20, 25. He goes, 25. I go, no, I'll give you 15. And he's like, whoa, God. And I just put it down and walked away. I was thinking, I'll come back later because I only just got there, right? So anyway, on the side of his van was hanging a Levi denim jacket, which we like those, How much is that? 20. So I'll go give you 15. He goes, I tell you what, he goes, don't tell anybody, but I'll give you the two with the other one. I'll give you the all for 30. So I went, all right, yeah, I'll do that for 30. Is that what you said? No, he goes, So anyway, so I got it for the 15 that I wanted. So anyway, it turns out that, have you ever heard of Mole? Demole?
No.
Okay.
Organization.
It's an organization that was thought up in about 1919 for, there's original 9 members. They got together, and the Mulberry, it's for boys between the age of 12 and 21 who don't have any fathers, and they want some guidance. So they were going to give them guidance and be a mentor, basically, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the Mulberry. Now
Can I interject? When he says de Mulberry, he means demole.
See, I really mean that, really. Demole. I'm sorry. Demole.
So just know that de Mulberry translates to demole.
Yes, it's my own language. It's Richmondese. I will give you a episode of Richmondese later. Okay. So, but this demole, is that right?
Very good.
All right, demole. Now, where did the name demole come from? Well, demole. Now, this is really interesting, right? Demole was Jacques Demole was the last Grand Marshal of the
Knights Templar.
Oh.
And he was the last one. He was born in 1200 and something like that. And then, if you know all about the Knights Templar, then they persecuted and all this. He was actually burnt at the stake at the end, but he never gave up. He never gave them any information and all that. And he was a super guy to all his fellow people. So they took that as the name because of what he was and who he was. And
high moral values.
Yeah. So the guy that was starting this, he was already in the Masons. So this is a kind of a Mason organization, but it's not. It's for kids, right? Now, the more we found out about this thing here, it says it's just the trophy is a Perry W. Weiner trophy, and it's for the best. You read this one.
Best, exemplification of initiatory decree.
Okay, so this is actually a big thing in their organization, right? So this trophy.
Can you show the writing?
Can you see the writing?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I can see that.
So this trophy was actually won by Charles Emery Wright. He was an active member back in 1933, right? So you read all this.
Oh my goodness. It's here. You keep knocking the phone, by the way. Charles Emery Wright, active member of the Grand Council Order of Demole, SoCal, Southern California jurisdiction, 1933. And I think that this was like a traveling cup. So multiple chapters won it. Hollywood won it. Hollywood chapter 1940, Wilmington chapter 1941, Wilmington chapter 42.
Now it turns out that this Charles Emery Wright was one of the main council members of the organization. Right now, the president of the whole organization was Walt Disney.
Oh.
Now, so there's so many different. You got your list there. So many different people.
It's on my phone.
I thought you wrote it down.
I can remember them.
Okay, so there's several really interesting people that have won this, from the first people to walk on the moon to Bill Clinton to.
Right. We said Walt Disney, Bill Clinton. Who else was? I can't remember.
And each of them would have been given one of those trophies, would they?
No,
No,
but
no,
they
no,
were
no. They
members
were
of
members. So
the
they have
Ah,
Demolay.
they have a
right,
Hall of Fame, which is really astounding
right.
Hall of Fame. But Walt Disney was the actual president, right, at one
At
time.
one time.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I look up Charles Wright on the internet, and I find this picture of him with Walt Disney, with Mickey Mouse, etc., etc. So they were obviously good friends. So this it's very intriguing to find this on a table and then get all this information about the Knights Templar to Walt Disney to walking on the to whatever. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
From
pewter
away
that,
from the
or is it silver plate? Is it?
It's probably pot metal with a plating on it. Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
very tinny, but and
Yeah,
there
so-
was a little shield of arms on here, which the person who had it before me, they just did it. They prized it off.
Yeah.
But it's a shame because there's the crest of the Mulberries,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demolay.
the Demolays.
Yeah.
Look, we're
Yeah.
going around the mulberry bush here, matey, but that's okay. I play everything, right?
The thing is, the way that is now, it's got that pewter look to it. It'll never polish up.
Yeah.
But it's got that. It's got the age to it.
It has, isn't it? And you know what it's waiting for? It's waiting for some of your beer, matey.
I'm up for that.
So what's
Now
the
this
other
one came
cup?
with it, but this one is a separate little trophy, and this is one for attendance. So they had an attendance trophy that was won by the Whittington Club in 1929. So this was passed around who had the best attendance in the area, I guess.
Is that
they won the
anything?
trophy.
Is that anything to do with the Demolay?
Same, yes, by them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the name on it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
And-
presented by Tom Mason in 1929 to the Demolay. It's very hard to see that. Presented by him.
Pretty well worn.
The Demolay. Well, it would clean up, but I don't want it to. It's the Wilmington chapter, they call it. So they won this, and they won this twice. So they were pretty good.
Chapter.
So it's one in Northern California. Now this is the international institution, if that's the word.
Yeah.
All across the world. This went from these 9 guys who started in 1919 right across the whole world. And then the president of the United States, Bill Clinton, was a big member, and he really fought to have it, for people to join this. The same with Walt Disney. He did the same kind of thing. So it's an amazing Hall of Fame, the people that are actually that came through this. So it was a good thing to be in.
Yeah, if it's anything like the Masons, though, they've had a lot of like presidents and people like that in the Masons, haven't they? So if it's related, you can see why there's so many influential people.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of organization. Yeah, but this was for kids
Yeah,
from 12 to 21.
And something I think is interesting, which is kind of a side collectible, is that when he was looking online, he found all kinds of like Walt Disney designed Mickey Mouse Demolay badges and
Yeah, he
all
was
kinds of
he
things.
was really into it. Yeah, all kinds
Right.
of cloaks, and they wore all kinds of things at the Demolay.
So from a collectible standpoint,
I
you could
right,
have
yeah.
somebody collecting Demolay, somebody collecting Disney, or somebody collecting the Disney Demolay,
yeah,
a whole
yeah.
different category.
I bet you the actual Disney Demolay stuff though is quite rare though, isn't it?
Yeah, I would think so. And it's interesting because he asked me if I'd ever heard of the organization. And when I was young, I knew about it, and I told him there were other similar kinds of groups like the Rainbow Girls and all kinds of youth
California, Daughters of
organizations.
California, and things
All
like that.
kinds of things.
Yeah.
No, you don't hear about them at all now.
Yeah.
They
See,
don't.
The
So there
unusual,
it is. That was the pick of the day, matey.
yeah, you've done well with that. And I noticed with that, the differences between America and here, you've got that's been awarded. I can see it on the trophy there, 1940, 41 and 42. Now, over in the UK, in those years, you wouldn't have been issuing trophies like that because we were in the midst of a war. So all them sort of things got put on
Oh, you
hold.
wouldn't have had any metal being used.
Yeah, normally within the war period, they didn't sort of do trophies like that. So before the war and after the war, you will have got things. There was the odd ones, but not many because you know, we
Correct.
were
Yeah,
on,
they would have
we-
used it for munition, right? They would have
Yeah.
melted it down. They
yeah,
melted all the fences down and all that
That-
kind of
that's
stuff
right.
down in
All
Wales,
the
didn't they?
yeah, railings, gates, anything like that. They came and took them off your
Wow.
house. Yeah, you still
Yeah.
see a lot of houses now. If you walk around a lot of cities and that, you'll still see where all the railings used to be when they came and cut them down.
Right. Yeah.
It's called the war effort. And they used to collect pots and
Yeah.
pans off people and all sorts.
We were in Wales not long ago. What was that place we stayed at? That little bay.
I'll think of it. I can't right now. I know what it is.
Well, they went to this little place not far from Cardiff on the beach, and there's a castle there, or there would be. Landstephen.
Landstephen.
Oh,
Very good, honey. Landstephen.
At the beginning. he
And
got
there
the
is
end.
water. I mean, you walk. It's a little village, right, on a hill, and you walk through there, and you see all the crops top of the
Yeah.
walls. You know,
yeah.
it's such a
yeah.
shame because a beautiful iron. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And you found a lot of it, you know, well, especially in this country, you know, so much stuff that got weighed in and melted down and that. But, you know, everybody had
Yeah.
to do their bit, didn't they?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
The only thing I'm aware of we did here is we made pennies out of steel instead of copper.
Then they had, but you had the Victory Gardens. I was reading the Victory Garden yesterday.
Tell me about the Victory Garden.
All the children that all had Victory Gardens over here. They turned all the baseball diamonds and all those kind of things in the gardens and grew vegetables for the troops in the out in the trenches.
See, I didn't know that.
Ah,
Okay, so how do we get this conception? How do we come up with this idea of this beautiful, intriguing show? Was on Twitter, that formerly now X, right? Craig left a little note for me saying, well, maybe you can get me kind of involved with what you're doing on baggage battles, etc. So I thought, well, yeah, that sounds good. But the only trouble is we don't do baggage battles anymore. So it's pretty hard. We do storage wars. We do appraisals for storage wars, if you get that channel over there.
yeah, we do, yeah.
So I wrote back and said this and said that, and it came to pass that we decided, oh, okay, maybe we can do this show and tell, something like Show and Tell International is now it's called now. So it's the UK versus the US and what we can find, and bin diving and skip picking and all this kind of stuff. And it seems like we've got a good formula going here. What do you think, Greg?
I do. I think the format's really good, and not only that, I'm going to find this interesting. The fact that what we get and what we find compared to what you can find. The thing I like as well is if we're doing what we enjoy, if we can educate people at the same time, and people can look at something we've got and learn something from it, then to me that's a bonus.
Well, you know, you in this trade, you learn something every day. Basically, no one can know everything. Only Sally, But
No, I learn stuff every day. In fact, our first episode, I learned stuff on that. So,
Yeah.
I say keep watching, and the more you watch, the more you'll learn.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Very informative, very intriguing. It's like every syllable, every word you can think of this describes this Show and Tell International.
Yeah, and the more people watch, the more they'll learn, and the more they'll be entertained. Thanks for joining us this week, and don't forget, like, subscribe, and comment, and tune in next time to get the updates on all the items that we've shown you.